Hi everybody, welcome to another Low on Health game video review where I go over some of the games I've been playing recently. These are really to supplement my written reviews, which I used to do when I couldn't write for the life of me. So these videos are what I do, just to kind of let people know what games I've been playing recently, and what I think of them. And granted, these are just my opinions. I mean, I look at games differently than most people. I'm more of a narrative person. I like the story, and I view games maybe differently than some other people. So, if you don't agree with them, great, but this is me just sharing my opinion. Everybody can share their opinion, and everybody's great and happy and knowledgeable, and the world's a better place with different people. Whatever. Today, I'm going to mention two games that are kind of the same genre. It's going to be Civilization 5 for the PC and Halo Wars for the Xbox 360. Let me just go ahead and start here. Let's go with Civilization 5. Now, of course, everybody remembers the Civ games. These are kind of, the kind of like the RTS type of games that go along with the Command and Conquer, and not really Command and Conquer, but like the Age of Empire games. Personally, I'm more of an Age of Empire person, but I have kind of started to like the Civilization franchise. I did really much enjoy the 360 Civilization Revolution. That was really good. This one on the PC is also very, very good. I really enjoyed it, even though I didn't think I would. I think I tried 4 and it was just too complex. But with 5, I really much enjoyed it. It looks amazing. It taxes my system, and I've actually played a good chunk of it. It's very addictive. It's very slow moving. A lot of people have mentioned, like, compared to like StarCraft. I mean, it just takes, not forever, but you definitely takes a while for turns that you have stuff to happen. Penny Arcade also mentioned it. But I really much enjoyed it. I enjoyed basically the looks of it, the design. I don't know what else to say about it that you probably don't already know about the Civilization series. I did write some notes or whatever I wrote about. It's just solid. I did kind of miss like a campaign. There was no like real plot or campaign. You basically just try to conquer the world and whatnot. I would have maybe kind of liked a solid narrative or story, but whatever. You just kind of make it up as you go along. I did do almost every single different ending, like build the space station, build the UN and stuff like that, which was cool. Or have utopia and society and stuff. And it's not as complex as 4, if I remember that much. It's very kind of solidified and watered down. Not really consolidated is probably a good word to use for it. The controls, of course, are just solid, basic point and click. I mean, everybody knows how those games work. I wish you could kind of rotate the camera around. I know that's kind of stupid, but I do always kind of wish you could zoom in more and rotate the camera around just to get a better look at the visuals. What's one cool thing is you can actually zoom out and just kind of look at the game from like a board game standpoint, where you can just see the tiles and their things. It doesn't actually render everything in 3D, which is really cool because I did most of my skirmishes like one-on-one or like groups of 4. But I recently, kind of end game, my last game that I'm playing for, it has like 12 different players across a bunch of little different islands. And it basically takes a long time to cycle through the turns and whatnot. But if you just cycle onto the like the cardboard part, the board game part, it goes by really quick. But really, I much enjoyed it, and I'm still playing it. It's just very addictive to do that next round type of mentality. Moving on here, the next game I'm going to mention, of course, is going to be Halo Wars. Of course, Halo Wars is the real-time strategy game taking place in the Halo universe. This is a game that's been out for over a year. I just haven't really gotten to it. After Reach, I was looking at the Halo Waypoint. You can actually, it culminates all your Xbox 360, Halo achievements into one place, and you can kind of compare it with friends, in which case I was like, I, of course, got to try to be top dog on that. So I was like, hey, I'll play Halo Wars and get some extra achievements and bolster myself that way. So I rented this, and really good. I enjoyed Halo Wars. It's very cool. They did a really good job kind of mapping the real-time strategy controls to a controller. They did a really good job. You can kind of easily snap around. The base building is kind of consolidated. That's my word that it's very simplified. It's a lot of RTSs are doing that nowadays. We don't actually have to grab resources like, let's say, the Age of Empires and whatnot. You just basically build your base out, and as you capture things, it builds up. But I really much enjoyed it. A lot of really kind of fun achievements, a lot of replayability in it. The story's kind of good. I mean, it's a Halo story. Probably one of the better Halo stories. I probably liked it more than Reach. But that was real cool. Solid voice acting. The music actually has the classic Halo music, and if you love the Halo music, it's just really nice to get kind of those ambiance and ambient noises and music coming through it. That did a really good job with that. Once again, I wish I could have zoomed in more to get more detail. You can rotate the camera around, which is great, but I always for some reason, these games, I think they do a lot of work on it. I always just kind of like to zoom in very close, and I wasn't able to do it on this one. And actually, probably the one thing I didn't like about the game, it's solid all the way around, but one of the design elements I wish they would have had is to be able to play as the other factions. Multiplayer wise, yes, against the computer and online, you can play as the Covenant, which is great, but in the standalone campaign, you can't. And granted, that doesn't maybe kind of make sense for a Halo game. Well, it kind of does. But I would have liked to be able to play like their side of the missions, not just like have a whole new storyline, but just like against the campaign, just maybe kind of see what they would do or have their units work in a campaign setting. And even more so, I would have liked to be able to play as the Flood, basically kind of just play as all three different factions. I mean, I think kind of spoiled in the games, like Command and Conquer. I'm trying to think of other games that basically let you play the standalone and the bad guys, and then if there's a third faction, you get to play them. Nowadays, it seems to be like they're just consolidating to one, and as of course with StarCraft 2, it's basically they're just making one game, campaign-wise. I mean, online, of course, you can do all the three different types, the Protoss and the Zerg and the humans. But it's just kind of weird that this doesn't have. Maybe it was space issues. Maybe it just didn't fit into the design schedule. But for me, like I like to see the different sides of the conflict and just be able to play them through that different way. But overall, I mean, if you're a Halo fan, definitely give Halo Wars a try and definitely play it. I mean, it's worth it just to get that slice of lore in there, and just it's really fun. Like you can easily kind of ease into it. I mean, granted, it's not a shooter, but it's based almost kind of the controls kind of make it easy. Basically, anybody that can play Halo can play Halo Wars. But other than that, that's really about it. I do have a bunch of games queuing up here. I'm kind of banging out a bunch of videos, but those are two real quick videos I want to do because they're kind of similar to each other. I did enjoy them both. Civilization 5, of course, I gave an 8. The only problems I had with it was no really solid narrative and kind of camera controls, but their camera controls are solid. It's a great game. And then, of course, Halo Wars, I gave a 7.75. I'm only knocking it down, that little bit just because I would like to play the other factions, but overall, it's also just a solid game. So, other than that, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.